people. I've talked to a lot of young meteorologists, scientists, and they won't attack global warming because they know they'll be typed and they'll have great problems getting funds and things. You must realize that anybody, to get a grant, you've got to publish papers, and you've got to have your peers review your proposal favorably. If you're knocking global warming and the peers are getting grants for global warming, they're saying, look, here's a guy taking the food out of my mouth. The hell with him. I'm not going to favorably review his grant. The IPCC report, I have to go on, is a disgrace, in my view. George Willis called it. I'll quote just a little bit. So some of them, consider it virtuous to embroider facts, exaggerate certitudes, suppress inconvenient data, and manipulate the peer review process to suppress scholarly dissent, and above all, to declare the debate is over. That is what we have seen, and the Climate Gate is coming out. That's just one. They stole the emails from the East Anglica facility there. If we saw all the emails going on in the U.S., we would. That's just the tip, the ice tip of a very large iceberg, in my view. So, see, I'm an old guy. I'm not out for grants so much now. I can afford to tell the truth. And most of the critics are guys like me that have retired that say, I'm going to tell the truth. Now, I'm about to quit here and take questions. What's the main driver for climate change? Yes, we've had climate change. The globe has warmed since the middle of the 19th century. That agrees with the Industrial Revolution start. And people say, look, it's CO2, the Industrial Revolution, and the global warming. They agree, so it must be the Industrial Revolution. The CO2 that's brought about has caused climate change. Well, I don't think so. I think it's the ocean. We have ocean salinity like this. The Atlantic is a very special ocean because evaporation is greater than precipitation, and with time you're building up salt more and more. And we have these ocean currents, that trade winds, the Gulf Stream goes up, and we have flow like this, sinking in upper polar latitudes and deep water going back here. There are periods when this circulation, we call it the thermohalion circulation, is strong, periods when it's weak. And a whole lot of things happen when that happens. We diagnose it. When the North Atlantic is warm, we have more flow from the south. And if this doesn't go long enough, but it's been very warm here. We had this period here in the 70s, 80s, early 90s, and it's cold. Then this period when it was warm, then the period when it's cold, and the period when it's warm. Tropical hurricanes fit this pattern very well. We have more, less, more, less, more. These are natural multi-decadal things. People, live 20, 30 years, 40 years, and they think, gee, it's colder than it was or warmer when I was a boy and all that. That's multi-decadal climate change. It doesn't mean because it's gradually gotten warmer or colder or wetter that anything unusual other than nature is going on. And here's sort of an extension of this Atlantic part. We have water here, we have subsidence in the Antarctic area, and the upwelling here and everything. I don't have time to go on to this, but in general, when this circulation is stronger than normal, we have weaker westerly winds. We have more hurricanes, fewer El Niños, and it generally rains more and the globe tends to get cooler. When we have the opposite, when this circulation is very weak, we have stronger westerly winds, West Africa's dry, fewer major hurricanes, more El Niños, and a whole supply of things. This is natural changes that go on. And generally, we've had a multi-century of this thermohalion going strong, which is, I mean weak, pardon me. This ocean circulation going weak that has caused a general long-term warming. And superimposed upon that, here's the long-term warming. We've had these multi-decadal cycles, up and down, and we've generally warmed. It's not CO2 could not have caused this. These are natural changes. So in the 19th century, we had stronger thermohalion, and the 20th century has been generally weaker. And there have been things like this, a major reduction in South Atlantic deep water production during the 20th century from the high rates during the Little Ice Age is occurring. This is my answer to the climate change we have seen. So I'm ending here. I think natural climate change dominates over anything humans can do, and we should not initiate efforts with cap and trade to reduce CO2 amounts now. Let us wait a decade or 2 or 3. We may want to do it later, but certainly not now and pay the great economic price we're going to have to pay. Because renewable energy is just going to cost a lot more. The whole Western world, the industrial world will lose economically by doing it. And that's my view. So thank you. I'll take questions now.